The webinar is going to be basically about, you know, stopping them in court and the things you need to do before you get up to the court part. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a couple of recordings. These are actual court recordings, and this first one I'm gonna play is leading up to what we did in a meeting one time with one of the groups. I can't remember which one it was. Was it the second? Well, I did it with everybody, I think. Oh, let me turn my video on. So listen to this recording. It's going to actually show you what I used in the case to fight it for this gentleman. This will give you context. The guy, I think I explained this in here, the context of this. So let this play, and then we'll come back to that, and we'll go from there. So this is one of the actual templates y'all going to get, along with two others, to help see how you draft your cases. Then I'm going to send you guys a PDF of Richard Cornforth's book. I was able to locate it on the internet. I paid for mine, but it was one floating around there. So I'll give that to you guys to use. Those cases are very good and powerful guidances for winning in these debt collector cases. All right. Any questions before I move to show this video? I know I didn't talk about a whole lot. All right, let's go then. No questions. All right, let's do that. Let me know if y'all can hear the sound. Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
Standard to bring this action. So we have to distinguish.
Yes.
All right. I just need to move. How's that? Just chat out of the way. Okay, alleged defendant's motion to vacate board judge. Will y'all be able to hear that when I played it?
I can hear the case.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we can hear it.
All right. This one, the authority of Florida statute title. I think that's, what is that, 7? What's the Roman numeral was that? 6 or 7? 7, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, when it's going forward, 5. Yeah, okay. Chapter 90.203, compulsory judicial notice upon request. So I threw a bunch of things in here. Briefly support a motion to vacate. Michael S. Thompson, but not, see how I did this? I did, because this is how they had a caption. I don't go in and try to make a point of being obvious. Well, I'm being obvious, but I'm not focused on that all cap. Because one thing, this is a civil matter, and they're trying to get money. They're not trying to lock you up. So we have to distinguish where we're going to pick battles. An aggrieved party moves this court under the authority of Florida Statute Title 7, Chapter 90.203 for vacation of void judgment attached for lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Markov Law LLC and William Weisbeck, practicing subterfuge and acting in a purely criminal mode, obtained judgment in this instant case. Michael S. Thompson did not receive notice and have opportunity on motion for either default or summary judgment, even if Markov Law Firm LLC and William Weisbeck is the attorney, so I just want to let y'all know that. And properly notice Michael S. Thompson, the records does not reveal that Wells Fargo Bank N.A. proved standing to bring this action, and Markov Law LLC and William Weisbeck failed to prove up the claim of damages. The court relies solely on attorney unsworn statements. See Wright versus Emory. Emory's attorney unsworn verified statements do not establish competent evidence. Hewitt Coleman Associates versus Lemus 460. I won't read all of that. The practice we wish to see terminated is that of attorneys making unsworn statements of fact at hearings which trial courts may consider as establishing facts. It is essential that attorneys conduct themselves as officers of the court, but their unsworn statements do not establish facts in the absence of stipulation. This is what I read on YouTube. Trial judges cannot rely upon these unsworn statements as the basis for making factual determinations, and this court cannot so consider them on review of the record. If the advocate wishes to establish a fact, he must provide sworn testimony from witnesses other than himself or a stipulation to which his opponent agrees. Usually, when they talk about stipulation, is that sometimes they'll send you a questionnaire to answer. Do you live here? What is your name? Do you know Wells Fargo? That's the stipulation. When you fill that out, you just stipulated that they can use that in lieu of having a witness testify against you, either by sworn statements or sworn verbal statements in open court. So when you get, they always send a questionnaire for you to fill out. You don't fill that out. Say no, rebut that, say no, I'm not, give testimony against myself. I forgot the term, but anyway, you understand. You don't fill those out. Memorandum law in support of the point of law that parties seeking to vacate void judgment is invoking the ministerial powers of the court. Courts lack judicial discretion when it comes to vacating void judgment. So they don't have, if they don't have that evidence there, they can't, they gotta give you your win. That's what I'm trying to get you to realize. They have to. That's why when the brother talked to me yesterday, I said, you need to read what I gave you over and over. Read it because you need to call this when you're in court. So when rule providing for relief from void judgments is applicable, relief is not discretionary matter, but is mandatory. Ornery, Shalala, 30F3D 1307, Colorado 1994. See also Thomas 906 SW2D at 262, holding that trial court has not only power but duty to vacate a void judgment. So they have duty to do it. For other authorities concur, see Watkins v. Johnson, a judgment that is absolutely null and void, a mere brutum fulmen, can be set aside or stricken from the record on motion at any time and may be collaterally assailed. It is determined that the judgment entered is void. The trial court has no discretion, but is obligated to vacate the judgment. Every court, whether possessed of original or appellate jurisdiction, is vested with inherent power to vacate its own orders, judgments, or decrees. If void, and indeed every such court is in duty bound to do so when appropriate procedures invoked for that purpose. So you have to invoke them to shut it down. Now, I use judicial notice, but you ain't going to see a judicial notice that like that on anyone else. They're using that bare bones judicial notice. This here got teeth in it. This court is noticed as soon as practical and reasonable that Markov Law LLC and William Weisberg, the private business organizations to which they belong, and all who aid and abet Markov Law LLC and William Weisberg shall be sued under the authority of 18 U.S.C. 1964. I'm opening up a suit. He got opportunity to sue.
Are you living your life how society wants you to live it? What they call normal? Are you living it that way? Then you're not of God. You're not acting in your Godship. You're not acting in a supreme way. If you're following and keeping up with what society says is normal, and what's normal is for you to grow up through school, indoctrinatory information, go get a job and retire and wait on 401ks, you are not surpassing the human experience. You are working within man's governmental program indoctrination experience. That's the fact, because transcendent people live an experience beyond what the norm is. You see, that's what transcendent people do. So now the question comes up again. Do you feel like you're transcendent? Are you transcending? Let's move away from the work and the finances. Let's move into a more personal definition of transcendent. And this is what Christ taught through his teaching. He taught this by example, all right? What did he do? He came in to share the word, the good news, right? He came in and healed folks. So he was doing things beyond the human experience, beyond the normal. And everyone saw that and witnessed that. And they wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to eat some kind for healing. Some wanted to, hey, how do we do these things? And he said to us, he's like, you know, they didn't believe that they would transcend. And he said, no, you will do greater things than I. So Christ already said that we were born to be transcendent. That was the whole example he was trying to show everybody. You are transcendent. Now, whether you act and behave in a transcendent way, that's different. And the only reason why we're acting, behaving in the ways that we do now, because we allowed ourselves to be brought up and taught by societal norms, and we believed it. We ran with it. We took it. I'm guilty. I did it. So when I have situations, personal, business, and it seems almost impossible to get over these hurdles, I have to step back. Am I being transcendent in this situation? Am I going to transcend this situation? Sometimes you're going to find yourselves in a situation where you feel like you're being done wrong. But actually, you're being done right because it's setting you up for the bigger opportunity. So always keep your integrity. Always. Never let your integrity go by the wayside, because integrity is all you got. Your reputation is all you got. And yes, being truthful and honorable will cause you to lose something short term only. And you lost that because it was protecting you for something bigger. And from that, I mean, I got lifelong connections in that community. You know, sometimes we talk, hey, Akiem, what's up? What you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You make connections. People who know my reputation, they call me, hey, this guy, he's dependable. And that's what you want to be. You want to be dependable to your people, to everyone. What I was going to say is, it probably was very difficult to see it through all of the arguing. It's very hard to see the truth when you're looking at all of the arguing, because that's all you can see is what's not going right. What happened was you was put in a state of rest where your mind could only focus on your health. So you couldn't see all of the other stuff. You were focused on your health. And because you were focused on your health and he was focusing on your health, that's when you was able to see the beauty of whether he loved you or not. That's crazy though, because it's kind of crazy that it takes something real tragic for you to really see the truth of a person. Isn't that so weird that things got to get really bad and say, okay, now, because at that point, ain't nobody arguing. You just like, oh, she's sick and we got to do something about this. Everybody's in heightened panic mode. Let's take care of this. Let's get you back to your health. No one's thinking about whether they're going to be right or wrong. We just talking about this health issue. And that's the truth, because that's when you really see who you really got in your corners, when you really need that person, where you have to rely on them and you can't do for yourself. That's when you see the truth. And that static are being sacrificed. And that's, if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you got to feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
Peace. What's up? I didn't have a mic on at first. I always forget. Yeah. Everything is good on my side. I hope everybody is doing well. Here it is. It's August the 11th, 11 days into the month, halfway. You know, it's like these months are just rolling through. You see, just rolling through. So if you haven't started, get started, because beginning of the year be here. You know, you don't have that many more months left. Over half the year is gone. It's August, 8 months of the year. You only got 4 months left. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Gotta get moving. If you've been procrastinating, it's time now. Every week I say it's time is now. Because that's all you got is right now. You don't have later. You don't have after you watch the news. You don't have until after you watch the game. You don't have until after you do whatever. You have right now to make a decision. If you're going to have this year be the same as last year, or if you're going to have this year be worse than last year, you got to make a decision. It's time. You know, I think this year, this 2024 year is the year of truth on so many levels. It's exposing any weaknesses or anything that is dark. It's just out there. This is the year. And this is a good year because it's a good year of transformation. Because once the truth is out there, then you can decide what you want to do, where you want to go. Because when you're in darkness and you can't figure it out, you get stuck. So sometimes that truth may hurt. It may bother you. It may, cause you to get crazy. But the truth is there for one reason and one reason alone: to show you what you have to deal with and what you need to take care of, what you haven't taken care of. Because as I transcend my issues that I have, I start to look more deeply into my consciousness, and I can see exactly why I'm seeing what I see right now. I can see exactly why I'm receiving what I'm receiving right now. Because once you really, really, really dig deep into the depths of your consciousness, you will find the answer to why you're experiencing the experience right now. See, the devil is, the darkness is, the liar is that it's something else that's causing these problems. That it's something out there. There's something over here. It's that person. It's this person. This person is the reason why I do what I do. That's the reason why I do what I do. See, there you are in a low state of mind. That is called the devil, the manslayer state of mind. Because what is a manslayer? What's the definition of a manslayer? That Bible uses that a lot when it refers to the devil. I don't even like talking about that guy. A manslayer is a person who commits homicide or the lawful and premeditated killing of another person. Synonyms of manslaughter include murderer, liquidator, assassin, butcher. That's what he called the devil, the manslayer. So according to this definition, the first manslayer was Cain, right? In the Bible. But I think more along the metaphysical when it says manslayer, it's the killing of someone else in your mind. The spiritual, what you call, what is spiritual is his word, condemnation of another person or something. Because the ego is so quick to condemn. It's you. It's your fault. You're the reason why I got problems. And because you're the reason why I have problems, I'm going to do what I do as a way of getting back. And there's no excuse. Then now that cycle is perpetuated. Now you in turn become a spiritual manslayer or the devil or the opposer. See, in our situations, no matter how difficult they are, and I talked about this on another show, we are supposed to transcend our issues, meaning we're supposed to rise above them and really get to know and understand why they're happening and seeing, wait a minute. In this situation, I see myself and how I so long ago started this path to where I am right now. And it could be years back. I could look at, issues that I have in my relationship. I could go way back 8, 9 years ago and see some action I took that right now it's manifesting right in front of my eyes. But we so stuck in a short-term memory, we forget about that stuff. But if you are a transcendent person, you will, and your consciousness is in that high state of frequency, you can go way back and you can see it and see how all of that brought you where you are right now. And once you can see that, you have then become or are enlightened. That's enlightenment. Enlightenment is not some, oh, I'm enlightened and I'm off somewhere in some blissful place where, I got all this great stuff going on. Enlightenment is actually just simply seeing the truth. The actual truth of a situation. That's enlightenment. Because truth is what? Light. See, you read some of these books that have you thinking enlightenment is you're gonna go off and you just have your feet folded and you and you're moaning and you're meditating and you just totally in a state of zen. False. Enlightenment is just simply knowing the truth. That you have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work, and I don't know anything. I don't have all the answers. I'm still working towards that. That's enlightenment, that I still have a long process to get to the truth of the matter, the truth of my existence. See, some of us are so caught up in the flesh that the truth is I got to go get a job and pay these bills, and that's your truth. And it brings me to something I was reading this morning, John 8, verses 31. I'm going to start there. It says, Jesus said to the Jews who had believed him, if you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And what is this word that he's talking about? What's the word? That you could be like him. Jesus was just here. Christ was just here to be an example of what you can be like. That's the truth. You are the Christ that you've been searching for all your life. This coming of Christ is the coming of Christ within you. They answered him, we are offspring of Abraham, have never been enslaved to anyone. How is it that you say you will become free? See, they was thinking on this, and I read this before. I always come back to this. They were thinking on an earthly, fleshly level. Then Jesus answered them, truly, truly, I'd say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever. The son remains forever. So if the son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I know that you are offspring of Abraham, yet you seek to kill me because my word finds no place in you. I speak of what I have seen with my father, and you do what you have heard from your father. They answered him, Abraham is our father. Jesus said to them, if you were Abraham's children, you would be doing the works Abraham did. But now you seek to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I heard from God. This is not what Abraham did. You are doing the works your father did. They said to him, we were not born of sexual immorality. We have one Father, even God. Jesus said to them, if God were your Father, you would love me, for I came from God and I am here. I came not of my own accord, but he sent me. Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to hear my word. You are your father. You are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of liars. But because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. See, the current doctrines and how they teach about God, Christ, and all this it's teaching you how to kill yourself, how to kill your spirituality. It's teaching you that you are a sinner. So if you're coming from that perspective, everything you do and say is going to come from a sinner's perspective, and you will never be able to see the glory of how you are the Christ or the Christ is coming within you. You'll never see it. And this is what this scripture is being witness to. It says, you can't hear what I'm saying because you are of your father. The consciousness, the devil he's talking about is a consciousness, not a physical devil runner. It's the mindset of the devil, the opposer, the opposer of the simple idea that you are the Christ you're looking for. Anything other than that is, if you're not seeing it that way, then you're seeing it the fleshly way. And as you can see, as a result of this, you see people who think like that. They're like, oh, I'm a sinner. I can never measure up. And look how their lives will never measure up. They will never see any degree of success. You cannot go around consciously destroying yourself and calling you a sinner and never can measure up and think that you're going to have success. And they run around confused, like, I never can get ahead. Well, what are you saying? What have you believed about yourself? I much rather have the thought that I am the Christ that I'm looking for. Christ is coming through me and works through me, and all good works and that I'm getting is based on my perception of how good I see myself. All of the good that I receive, all of the great things I receive come from one place, the consciousness of my mind that has contracted with the idea that everything good that I desire comes through me believing that I deserve it. That's simple, but yet so hard for so many to grasp. Why? Because their mindset is in that devil mindset, the opposer, the opposite, the manslayer of the Holy Spirit, the manslayer of your spirit. Because the moment you think bad of yourself is the moment you've just destroyed yourself. The moment that you look down on yourself is the moment that you are down. The moment you think good of yourself is the moment that you are good. You choose. You choose how good or bad your life will turn out. No one else choose it for you. Now, people can give you options. Hey, look good. Take this. Take my advice here. Do this and that. And you can choose to believe that and become a part of that, and you'll see the results. If you stop right now and say, what have I contracted with? What did I allowed to become my truth? What have I allowed? Is my truth my truth? Is it really my truth? Or is it somebody's idea of what you thought should be the truth? Whoever is of God hears the words of God. Let me rephrase that. Who is of the higher consciousness of the Christ consciousness can hear the words of the Christ consciousness. See, when you at the low vibrational consciousness, all you can see is what's in that vibration. That's all you can see. Now, give me a second. I'm going to take a pause for a second. I'll be right back. Are
This
you
is
living
Hindsight
your life
Radio.
how society
Represent
wants
the
you to live it?
information
What they
station
call
changing
normal?
the
Are you living
nation.
it that way? Then you're not of God. You're not acting in your Godship. You're not acting in a supreme way. If you're following and keeping up with what society says is normal, and what's normal is for you to go up, grow up. All right, I had to go. I had to get fired up. Whoa, that was hot. That was hot. I'm taking up. I don't have a glass, so I'm gonna have to take this to the head. Y'all gonna say, "Oh, he drinking on the air. Did he call himself a preacher?" I don't call myself a preacher. I call myself Christ mind. The Christ mind. That's what I try to embody. What I want to say is, when you have problems, and they could be extreme, that is a great opportunity for you to really practice transcending that situation and work out not allowing it to bring you down consciously. That's the mission. That's the mission, to be able to navigate all of the challenges of this world that it may bring you and still be able to walk over it like Christ walked on water. Still be able to allow yourself to be sacrificed for the good of mankind. I'm not saying go, allow people to nail you to a stake or anything like that. What I'm saying is, spiritually, you have to, even though these people, you might feel from a fleshly level that they deserve condemnation, you cannot condemn. Because once you don't allow yourself to pass judgment on them for their wrongdoing, and you look at it as simply as, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. And honestly, so people are so indoctrinated into the opposer mindset, into the devil mindset, that what they do, although it may be wrong, to some and most people, they really don't see it as wrong. They really can't see it because their mind is so clouded in that vibration that in that world, they feel justified. You just so happen to be a casualty of their ignorance to their true divinity. That's it. Not to take it personal. How can I not take it personal? They're cheating on me. They're hurting me. They're doing this. How can I not? Okay. So take it personal. Let's go there. Let's take it personal. Take all of that stuff personal. That's the truth. That's your truth. You want to hold to it. They're wrong. I'm right. I'm taking this personal. And ask yourself, how do you feel? Do you feel good by saying that they're wrong? Does it uplift you? Does it feel like you can go and accomplish good things in that situation? No. I can tell you with all definity that definitely you don't feel good. What you feel is, you feel like probably going laying down, getting some rest because it done stressed you out. You need a day to recover, get your mind right, because you feel so confused about where you need to go, what you need to do, whether you need to leave or stay. You need more answers. You go searching for more answers. You become caught up in a cycle of chaos and confusion. So that's the results of you taking that personal. No matter who it is, it could be husband, wife, children, mother, father. That's the results you're getting from taking it personal. Does that feel good? No. Does that help you accomplish good things? No. It takes you down the abyss or where people say you'll go. See, hell, it ain't something you go to after death. You can go to hell right now as soon as you adopted a negative idea of a situation. You just went to hell. You went to the lower depths and the bowels of hell in your mind, and you will stay there until you realize that you need to transcend it. See, even people can go to hell and get out. Only reason why people are still in hell is because their mindset has not transcended the problem that they have. Hell is not a permanent place where people can go and they stay there. Same way as heaven is not a permanent place that people can go and stay. It works the same. I can be in heaven today and be in hell tomorrow. You can jump back and forth, and then you could be in purgatory too, which is the in between. Those are the people that lost and don't know which way to go. At least you choose to go to hell, you made a decision. You choose to go to heaven, you made a decision. But some people ain't making a decision, and they remain in a state, forever constant state of undecisiveness. And that's where a lot of people stay when they're trying to start businesses or become prosperous. They stay right there in that undecisive. That's called purgatory. And that's worse because even the Bible says God does not like a lukewarm person. It's either you're hot or you're cold. So make a decision one way. You want to choose to be in hell or you're going to choose to be in heaven. You can have it all. You can have either one. It's your choice. I'd rather stay in heaven. So what I do is when I face challenges, instead of looking at the individual or the situation or the circumstances, I program my mind to say, how can I become better in this situation? And instantly an answer comes, don't take this personal. This is, if you could remain in heaven and not come down from your lofty position like those angels did and came down and started messing with the women because they were up there in a glorious place and they came down and said, oh, I want to get with that. And see, that's what we do. One day we in heaven, we in a high meditative state, we feeling good. And then one day we look down and we see a situation and we say, I want to get with that situation, that low vibration situation. We decide. Because no matter what you say, you are choosing your level of consciousness daily. You're buying into it. It's not someone else is controlling your mind. You are letting your mind run loose without training it. Your mind needs to be trained. And if you don't train it, it will train you to follow it wherever it takes you. Somebody's going to get trained. Now, I choose to train it myself. It took me a long time. I got older, and it was a lot of work because I used to let my mind run amok, run over here, run over there. Everywhere it took my attention, I was following it. Instead of me seeing something and saying, mind, you don't need to be over there. You need to be over here. This is where I need you to go. Sit. Heal. Stay over here. Where everything's in high vibration and I'm getting good results. Don't go over there. Leave that alone. Even though you see crazy stuff, you can say, like, oh man, that's jacked up. The moment you just said jacked up, you had just identified with a low vibrational idea. And once you get into that low vibrational idea, guess what? Many more of them demons is coming. Right behind that thought. Take me one more swig. I'm like them old men on the corner right now. You know them old dudes on the corner be having some really good wisdom, although they drinking and that's their vice. But they be having some. It was two drunks that taught me how to play basketball really well. Two drunk guys taught me. And they were half drunk when they was teaching me, but they gave me some very good basketball skills. So don't look down on them drunks, man. They got wisdom. They just choose to stay, this be their partner. One day it may not be. So what you gonna do? How you gonna handle yourself in that difficult situation you dealing with right now? That difficult boss, that difficult person in your house, whoever that might be, the job, whatever. The girl at the grocery store that was rude. What you gonna do? Because there's only one truth. That in order to be enlightened, you must realize you got a lot of darkness in you that need to be purged. And that takes time. Takes lifetimes. Many. I'm here in this lifetime. I'm thankful for this lifetime that I got, that I'm able to share these teachings. Y'all understand that there's people that were sent to this world. See, they had you looking at one Christ, but there's many Christs out there that have been, and this Christ that don't even know they Christ. They ain't even woke up to their Christhood yet. Christ didn't know he was Christ until he fully got baptized. He didn't know what his real calling until the heavens opened up. And then he had to go fast and be tested to make sure he was ready. 40 days. And then the devil came in. Hey, I give you all of these things. And he transitions. Nah, I can't. I don't want that. I give you all the kingdoms of the world. Richness, whatever. Whatever. Give you this food. But Christ realized where the real food is. The real food is spiritual food. You got all these people who want to be vegans. They want to, I ain't eating pork, I ain't eating beef. And but they still not spiritual. Because the true food and sustenance that you are need to live off of is reaching the higher consciousness of your mind, that Christ consciousness. That's it. And in every situation, there's an opportunity to practice it. See, you can't really practice Christ consciousness when everything's going your way. That's easy. No, when you really exhibit Christ consciousness is when everything is not going your way. So that means that you need to have things not go your way in order to actually perfect your Christ consciousness. Oh, so you need to be looking for things not to go your way. So you can work on yourself. Let me change that. Not so much looking for it. When the problem shows up, you need to be looking for an opportunity right then and there to exercise your Christ consciousnness muscles. We're so physical that we'll go out there and work out, do 100 push-ups, do all this stuff, make our bodies look good on the outside. But we will not work our minds so that they can look good. See, if you can, let me tell y'all something, fellas and women. If you can not only look good physically, but also look good spiritually and mentally from the mind's point of view, your greatest attraction that you will ever get is the consciousness of your mind. You'll pull in all kind of wonderful, good people into your life just by exercising and producing and promoting high consciousness values. People show up. Because you know why? That's rare. Because everybody's out there on TikTok doing all kind of silly stuff. But when someone come along and they just have a mind different from all, that's why people was attracted to Christ when he was walking the earth and teaching. They followed him around and said, who is this man that talks in such a way? with such, and the reason why they liked him because he resonated with them. He opened up a truth that was already in them and connected to it. See, everybody is truth. There's nobody on this planet, I don't care who they are, how they live it, is not truth, because that's who we are. We are truthful divine beings. And so as soon as someone comes in and connects to that, he's like, wait a minute, that's, you know, the truth when you hear it. And you connect to that. And you don't want to let that go. So you know when you hear a lie, because a lie make you tired, like, oh man, whatever. It makes you frustrated because you lie. Now, one thing about truth is it will chase lies away. Lies cannot handle the truth. It will fight to get out of it. It will run. From wherever that truth is, it's running. It's just like darkness. A little bit of light will run away a lot of darkness. Never the other way around. A lot of darkness could be in here. There's some little dark corners. And it ain't chasing away that light. Until the light goes all the way out, then you have full darkness. That's the way it works. But just a little bit of light in a dark room, you'll be able to see. Just a little flashlight, a little phone light. But try it the other way around. Don't work. All right, who's out there in this chat? Indie Circle Ministry says, peace, my brother. Javier Arbolez, good friend, peace, loves, prosperity. Elijah Ra Atom Rabe, highest self, lower self. Lycan Apple says, peace to the gods. C King Bay say, peace, everyone. And Javier Bolas, facts, your mind needs training every day. It gets better with more practice. Absolutely. Let me tell you, if you don't practice your mind, when these crazy things that happen in life, it will run you and you be lost. This is why people go as far as committing suicide, because their mind ain't trained to handle. You got to train it, and it's a daily training. See, I realize the extreme things that I go through is preparing me. How can you be the teacher and you can't go through this? So if I say I'm going to be a teacher, a lot of things is going to come down my way to help me become a better teacher. I bought on to that. I contracted with that idea. So here I am. And when these challenges come my way, I'll be like, man, why is it happening to you? Because you want to be a teacher, right? So here you go. Take this. And it's going to be from the very people you love that you're going to get it from. Who? Be careful when you say you want to be a teacher. Be careful what you ask for. One more swig, y'all. One more swig. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, God and me. Thank you for allowing me to share this message. Instead of sitting there depressed about that bad situation, wake up, stand up, and say, this bad situation is teaching me how to be better. It's making me stronger. And walk into that bad situation and conquer it like you are the Christ. Christ conquered death. He allowed people to talk about him, spit on him, do whatever they want. Because that wasn't the road or the message he was trying to send. He was like, yeah, okay, I'm about to conquer this death. See, he had an end game. I'm about to transcend death itself and get the keys to Hades. And what does those keys represent? Those keys represent the unlocking of the process and the method to overcoming all obstacles. So yeah, you're going to have to die. Not this fleshly death. You're going to have to die That mental death. You're gonna have to die that death of the devilish thinking, the opposer thinking. I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm a sinner. That's what you gotta die to. Once you realize you're not a sinner, you're not a sinner. God didn't create you to be a sinner. No. You may do sinner things, but you're not a sinner. And why are you doing sinner things? Because you've adopted a low vibrational idea that you thought was true, and it got you caught up, and that's the results of that. Do y'all realize all things that we consider bad, all things that we connect to that are not good comes from one thing? You not realizing that you're the Christ sent into this world to transcend all of those things? It's not just one Christ. We all Christ. Some of us have not baptized ourselves into the idea that we are. And see, once you baptize yourself spiritually into the idea that you are, then you do like Jesus did when he went to John and had him baptize him. He came from God, right? He was God's son, but he went to a man to get baptized. That was just showing the symbolism. Hey, I have accepted now my journey as my commission to be the Christ, and now I'm going to do this for 3 years, and then I'm going to transcend this physical body and move on. You see? Speaking from its higher self. That's what Javier says. Any more in here? There's a little more. I got to finish this off. Before I go. Y'all call me a wino. Clip that up. Yeah, look at him. He a wino. He be talking crazy. He talking about he being the Christ. Well, hey. It don't matter. Only the lower mind, the lower consciousness would do something like that. All you high-minded people that's listening and understand and want to adopt what I'm saying or connect to what I'm saying, I'm only connecting to the truth that's already there. That's it. That part of you. Everyone. There's no one that is not the Christ. Just some of them is exhibiting those behaviors, and some of them is just right now they ain't ready. But they'll be ready one day. Eventually, everyone will be saved from themselves. So, what you gonna do? You gonna accept yourself as being the Christ that you're looking for? You gonna accept what man says? You're just a lowly worker. You got to go out there, pay your taxes, and go to church and call yourself a sinner, wretched, and wait on God to fix something. Instead of you getting up and saying, I'm the Christ. I create the miracles in my life. I orchestrate the peace and the love and transcend my own self, my own desires, fleshly desires, to do the opposite and move from the lower levels of hell into the higher depths of heaven. That being said, peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to everyone. Are you living your life how society wants you to live it? What they call normal? Are you living it that way? Then you're not of God. You're not acting in your Godship. You're not acting in a supreme way. If you're following and keeping up with what society says is normal, and what's normal is for you to grow up through school, indoctrinatory information, go get a job and retire and wait on 401ks, you are not surpassing the human experience. You are working within man's governmental program indoctrination experience. That's the fact. Because transcendent people live an experience beyond what the norm is. You see, that's what transcendent people do. So now the question comes up again. Do you feel like you're transcendent? Are you transcending? Let's move away from the work and the finances. Let's move into a more personal definition of transcendent. And this is what Christ taught through his teachings. He taught this by example, all right? What did he do? He came in to share the word, the good news, right? He came in and healed folks. So he was doing things beyond the human experience, beyond the normal. And everyone saw that and witnessed that. And they wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to, some come for healing, some wanted to, hey, how do we do these things? And he said to us, he's like, you know, they didn't believe that they would transcend. And he said, no, you will do greater things than I. So Christ already said that we were born to be transcended. That was the whole example he was trying to show everybody. You are transcendent. Now, whether you act and behave in a transcendent way, that's different. And the only reason why we're acting, behaving in the ways that we do now, because we allowed ourselves to be brought up and taught by societal norms, and we believed it. We ran with it. We took it. I'm guilty. I did it. So when I have situations, personal, business, and it seems almost impossible to get over these hurdles, I have to step back. Am I being transcendent in this situation? Am I going to transcend this situation?